2026, so a year from now, that there have to be regional planning targets. Those regional planning targets don't in any way have to be equitable. So Northern Virginia does not have to have the same planning targets at other places in Virginia. And Madam President, in establishing such targets, the division shall consider the first two things, shall consider land availability and land cost. Madam President, you don't have to know a lot to know that land availability is greater in rural areas. Land cost is cheaper in rural areas, so they have to focus on it. So, Madam President, when you're looking at what this does, it sets up the pattern that it won't go in urban areas. It won't go where land costs more. It won't go where land is less available. It's going to be required to go in rural parts of Virginia. So you're talking 161,000 acres of solar panels in Virginia. 161,000 acres. And that's not the land of buffers around it. That's not construction. That's not stormwater basin. Some estimates indicate that number is double or triple what the amount of panels are. So, Madam President, when you look at this, the impact on rural Virginia is incredible. Just incredible. So there's a financial impact to all of us. We talked about that almost 10 billion number. And then for rural Virginia, where land is available and land costs less, you're going to be required to have these. And your local government is not going to make a choice.
Madam President, I would ask the Senator, it's great that she's looking at us in the rural areas as she says this, that this is planning and you need to do this. But I would ask the Senator, Madam President, in terms of Arlington and Alexandria, can you tell me how many significant large-scale solar farms there are in Arlington and Alexandria?
I can't say we have solar farms, but I can say we were the first jurisdiction in the Commonwealth to actually require that we have green buildings and that they meet certain LEED standards.
President, I would ask my friend, so that means 0 solar farms, even a 25 megawatt or larger, large-scale solar farm. So any of these planning commissions and places that should look at this and sit down and develop a comprehensive plan exclude areas like Arlington and perhaps Alexandria, which don't have large expanses of fields or farms because it's overdeveloped, but rather would rely upon us, at least south of the James.
I would just say that maybe one day we can put solar farms on top of our many rooftops that we have in Arlington County. So
this is kind of epitomizes why we are here. And sometimes, you know, having grown up against my will in Northern Virginia, I remember when it was farms and football fields west of Vienna. But there has been now an overgrowth and overdevelopment, and I can tell you, having worked in Arlington, having tried cases in Alexandria, you can't find it 2 to 3 acres to put on any kind of photovoltaic lens that would soak up the sun and make energy. So time and time again, when you pass these bills, you say, this is great for Virginia, but you're putting it on the localities in Southside and Southwest Virginia, below the James River, where we have farmers and big trees and expanse and great oxygen and great people. But I must tell you, I must confess, Madam President, the problem that we have from our area is that you constantly dictate to us what we should be doing ultimately for you. Because, Madam President, I do believe many of my friends that live in Northern Virginia want to be able to drive around the Beltway in their electric vehicle. And when they go home and they plug it in at night, they want to close their eyes and know that the electric genie is only putting solar-powered energy that they got from Southside and Southwest Virginia into their car. And then they feel good. They don't feel dirty that maybe it was coal. And all the time, and I remember, and I've said this on the floor, Madam President, Madam Clerk knows this, I've said it all the time, my dad lovingly used to say to me, son, when I want your opinion, I'll give it to you. But it seems to me that what we have here is Northern Virginia trying to dictate to Southside and Southwest Virginia what they should do with their land and their future, and that it should be to the benefit of those that are sold on solar energy. And oh, by the way, you can't grow tobacco because it's bad, but marijuana's good. And coal's bad, but solar power's good. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, at least at some point in time, we'd like a collaborative effort not to be told what we should be doing with our lands and what our people should be doing. This is why we have the problem. This is why bills like this are offensive to many of the people that we represent. And this is why you're never going to get cooperation from us, because you're the ones that told us that North American Free Trade Agreement would be great, cheaper sneakers. Central America Free Trade Agreement would be great. All of our jobs went out. All of our children had to leave. Our education system went from the top to near the bottom. Unemployment now is high. Addiction is high. Our graduation rates are lower than yours. And so you want us to go along with your plan, and it'll be great when you can't even do it yourself. Madam President, I speak in strong opposition to Senate Bill 1190 and any bill that tries to dictate the future of Southside and Southwest Virginia.
Shall the bill pass? All in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all senators voted? Do any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 19, noes 20.
Ayes 19, noes 20. The bill does not pass.